Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and share this with anyone who you think needs to hear this message. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can click the join button, become a member, and get access for free to the exercise performance course where I teach you to squat, bench, deadlift, shoulder press, do pull-ups and dips. Not only that, but you will also get the audiobook of the Book of Puck, narrated by me, and also the exclusive podcast for members, the Coffee Cast, where we do weekly Q&As. Now that we've had that out of the way, let's begin. And begin we shall. I'm trying something new with the mic here. I took this thing off. Apparently that is supposed to make the sound better. I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out today. Let me know if it is any better. I wonder if it really is, in all honesty. Hello, how has everybody been? Have you been enjoying Post-Zero? Have you been enjoying my show with Wine More, Please? And my solo show last week? Daniel Bell, hello, good to see you, sir. Sound is great. Good, awesome. My desk is a bit of a mess right now. There we go. Why? Because I'm selling one of my ships. One of my ships is leaving, and I always find it decent to, when I sell it, deconstruct it. And when I deconstruct it, this is what left. This is what is still left so far of the Destiny's Bounty. But what I always like to do, what I found decent to do, is that most of those larger sets come in bag numbers. Numbered bags, in numbered bags. And when I deconstruct it, I go from end to start. So I can renumber the bags. As you can see here, this is 12 to 13, 14 to 15, and this is 9, 10, and 11. So you got 8 bags left to do this. But at least we got something to do. By the way, here's a little thing for you. Go to the last Post-Zero and leave in the comment section a topic you would love for us to discuss. Put it in the comment there, and I'll throw it up, and we'll probably do a show about it. Speaking of topics for shows, if you guys haven't seen this yet, very wholesome, lovely commercial by Makaru Donuts, Japanese Makaru Donuts. And marriage, really? Oh, yeah, God. You know what? Before we get into our topic today, by God, what is it as of late? All of a sudden, the whole topic of marriage is back. Then we get to texting is for logistics. And I'm here thinking, you know what? Let's go back to she's not yours, it's just your turn. Because I think I still hear that horse breathing after its last beating. Seriously, I truly think that horse isn't dead yet. Want to go through the Jumbotron rule as well? Most of Red Pill Maxims, taken with a grain of salt, they're more like guidelines anyway. Hello, Godspeed, mate. Good to see you. They're guidelines. They're maxims for a reason. And Paul and I had a very friendly back and forth on Twitter. Paul, again, is a very genuine guy, very well-mannered, has my respect, absolutely, and an absolute unit of man. So I should be choosing my words carefully there. But even though the man could break me, he's still very capable of having a civilized conversation. Oh, I think he bench presses more than a truck, sir. More than a truck. But it came down to his argument was valid, where he mentioned The thing is, a lot of guys see this and they get a Tinder match and then they go, hey, we matched. I'd love to get a drink, blah, 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 blah. Now, starting out with that right away, 9 times out of 10 doesn't work. I'm not going to lie. I've been in the situation where it works, but the girl has to open. Not going to lie about that. What it does, however, do for a normal, non-artistic brain is somebody keeps in mind that he's texting for logistics. Like, why am I getting to know her? To get her out there. Why am I investing in this person? To get her out there. Why am I keeping this conversation short? Because most of the time I want to spend on this person is in front of me in real life. That's kind of what it means. But then you have so-called pickup artists, so-called, who take texting as for logistics and they take it literally, not seriously. And then you get into a whole bunch of trouble. So he and I actually concluded, so it's not the maxim, it's guys being too artistic to interpret it the way it should be. Could be. Kind of came down to that. Daniel Earl, the phone can cause your voice to sound a little muffled. It's mostly there to prevent the air from your mouth from causing annoying popping noises. You can get a pop filter, does the same thing. Yeah, I have it. My God, man, putting rubbish on is easier. But I was wondering if this would make the sound better or worse. Speaking of interpretation, to the Makaru Donuts, Japan. So Japan had a very lovely little commercial for McDonald's. Wholesome little family. Here, fries and nuggets. Fries and nuggets. What more do you want? Dino nuggets. I didn't get them. But, you guessed it, this was a wholesome family. And here come the comments. Let Japan Cook by It's a Gundam. Good to see him here. They did good this time, yeah. This is boring. Bingo. The reason this ad blew up is because it's alien to us. For the West, it's no longer capable of producing basic messaging that speaks to the core of being human. Where did you see that? Why DF are so many people losing their minds over this commercial? It's an anime family eating. It's not like it's Redo or Healer, so what's the issue? It's like, I saw a reference to an anime, another reference to an anime, and I saw It's a Gundam here. So apparently people find this offensive for some reason. I just find it cute. I have seen nobody finding this offensive. I've seen people saying people finding it offensive. Watching the left meltdown over something like this encourages me about being on the right side. Yeah, why do conservatives always bring politics into everything? I kind of agree with this. I will like this, Andrew. Even though, no. You ruined it. You ruined it, Andrew. Well, in this, the wholesome and calming McDonald's ad I've ever seen. Yeah, happy time, blah, blah, blah. The atmosphere is wonderful. I have plans. Having daughters is great. I suggest everyone trying it now. We need more of these cute anime commercials worldwide. Blah, blah, blah. So what I'm saying is, I see people telling me people disagree with this. Yet all I see in the comments is, yes, hello. All I see is people who find it wholesome or people who are telling me people find it offensive. Quote tweets could be, I didn't even check. I went for the comments right away. But I noticed something, and this is the same with movies that is going on. It's the same with the movies that is going on. Ahsoka, for example. And for people who do not know, who have not been to this channel before, hello, my name is Jack Napier. Non-closeted nerd, geek, collector of collectibles, builder of ships, and wrecker of your shit. I find that if you don't watch the reviews or anyone's opinion, a lot of content out there isn't even that bad. When I do watch the critics and the reviewers, I find they have to find something bad. It's like, interesting. Like those comments. Like, oh, the left hates this. I have not seen one person on Twitter. I have not seen one person on Twitter hating on this. I've seen plenty of people telling me people hate on it, but I have seen nobody hate on it. So ask yourself, when somebody tells you something is terrible, hateful, garbage, trash, have you tried looking at it for yourself? Here, John Fox now tells me Ahsoka's trash. Funnily enough, I have watched Ahsoka. You're not wrong. It's not as bad as Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's not as bad as Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's still... It's on the nose. It's on the nose. Get off of here. We're doing it raw. I have given my microphone a vasectomy. Don't worry. This is a red pill mic. He's been accepted in the club, in the cult. But that's what I've been noticing for a while with a lot of things. No Time to Die. Who remembers No Time to Die? A lot about No Time to Die was, oh, this black woman actress is going to replace Bond, and Bond will be now an inclusive black female spy. And I watched No Time to Die. First of all, the title track is absolutely amazing. What's her name? Billie Eilish did a great job. You know, let's be honest here. Billie Eilish did a great job on No Time to Die. It was a great and wonderful song. Great singing voice. And the movie itself wasn't that bad either, I find. Although if I had to believe the reviewers, they would have told me it is leftist indoctrinated woke garbage. In all my honesty, Naomi, I believe was her name, something like that. The agent doesn't replace him. The agent doesn't replace him at all. He retires. She gets the 007 title because he retires. He comes back. He gets back the 007 title. And they have a quirky little back and forth. Him on the Vespa was actually a pretty funny scene because she needed him to be in a certain location. So what she did was dismantle his car so he would need to get on the back of the Vespa. I thought it was clever. Well, not per se clever, but it made sense. It's like, you know, you want somebody somewhere, then they have transportation. So, well, you know, I'll get rid of the transportation within legal means, of course. Not legal advice. Same with Barbie, exactly. I saw Barbie with Tori, my idea. Before people jump on that, like Tori made Jack watch Barbie. No, it was my idea. Because I heard Ryan and Dante talk about Barbie, and they were like, dude, this film is amazing. Now, positive reinforcement right there. But I was like, you know what? We had Oppenheimer. We had something else from Christopher Nolan. Every movie was dark, depressing, or Marvel. That were the choices. You have dark, depressing, or Marvel. Like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Barbie, the movie. It's like,
bright colors, toy commercial, joke out of everything. It's like the 80s. For those of you who don't remember the 80s, He-Man, Transformers, Barbie, My Little Pony, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all were what? My chat, my audience members, what do those 5 have in common? You're right. They were all toy commercials. All of them. Transformers the Animated Series, toy commercial. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, toy commercial. Barbie, toy commercial. G.I. Joe, toy commercial. My Little Pony, toy commercial. There was another one I just mentioned, but I can't remember. Short-term memory loss. Don't care. So I was like, you know what? When you're here, we're going to Barbie. And I'm not going to lie, except for the Will Ferrell character, who I found unnecessary. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I found him very unnecessary. It was fun. It was just fun. They made fun of everybody. They made fun of feminism. They made fun of the patriarchy. They made fun of men. They made fun of women. They made fun of stereotypes. They even made fun of the rainbow crowd, club, gang, cult, religion, conviction, however you want to call it. And people can't seem to enjoy anything anymore. And I had this talk with Rob a long time ago. Like that commercial. Sometimes people need you to be angry to watch their content. Yeah, I didn't hate Batman versus Superman when I watched it. I didn't hate it either. I thought, in all honesty, the Martha thing was just, I think that is a universal agreement between all people who watch that film. The universal agreement is the Martha thing was stupid. Like, really? We're going there? That was just, no. But a lot of people I saw in that comment section of the McDonald's commercial were people who I know have YouTube channels that make a shit ton of money on hate, on rage, on whatever. Now, I'm not saying there probably won't be leftists or whatever who are angry at it. I just didn't see it. I just noticed, I saw people telling me they were angry. I never saw the people who were angry. It's like, okay. Interesting. I saw the people tell me Barbie was a horrible movie. Not saw anything about Barbie. I was like, well, Ryan watched it, and Ryan was like, well, she is either an accidental genius or she is like Paul Verhoeven. Turned out she was an accidental genius because the director of that film already came out telling that she didn't like that the alt-right blah, blah, blah Duracell community made Ken an archetype. It's like, lady, you wrote the hero's journey for Ken and a goddamn catchy song. What do you think would happen? Like, I love the Kenergy of all of that. I still want to do a post-Zero, and Nuke and I talked about this, and Dante as well. We need to figure something out for Dante, Mish, and Hawk, since they have avatars, where we all dress up as one of the Kens, and I get the fur coat. Like, I got dibs on the fur coat, and I will just love it. I will just love that. Maybe during Halloween weekend we can fix that. Swear to God, some of the movie was straight out of Irrational Male. Funny, wasn't that? Like, that was the beauty of that film, where they thought they portrayed women as like these smart sentient beings who knew everything, yet they showed how idealistic, romanticized it was, where it's like, yeah, of course women view the world like this. They accidentally made fun of themselves without knowing they did. And that was the brilliance of it, where it's like, you have no idea how funny this really is. But like I said, the Will Ferrell character, that went on for too long. That went on for too long, in my humble opinion. Like, I got the first part where it was like, please, could you go back in the box? It's like, yeah. They want to put women in their place, blah, blah, blah. But after that, I kind of was done with the Will Ferrell character, where it's like, okay, this scene is done. This scene is now done. Also, one scene I terribly hated was the Dutch scene. Because my glorious culture, which you Americans stem from, because we came with our boats and founded your nation, part of it, the attire was displayed as German and not Dutch. And I took that personally. Because at a certain point, you have like a part where Ken and Barbie cycle through a field of tulips and windmills in the background. But instead of Dutch attire, they're wearing lederhosen, which is German. And I was like, of course. Americans do not know the difference because it's not America. And you can't expect anything from an American to know about anything outside of America. You just can't. It's just impossible. No, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Not here to ostracize my audience, but name me the capital of Germany. Runner 55 is right. You bought Manhattan with seashells and lost it over tulips. Yep. Oh, please don't tell me about New York. Please don't tell me about New York. That was even worse. We sold New York. Oof. Talk about a bad investment right there. Talk about a bad investment right there. My God. Speaking of bad investments, that ship I just showed you that I'm going to sell. If you are a collector and you sell things, don't just look at eBay. Here's a little tip for you. Don't just look at eBay. Also look at niche websites. So for, let's say, if you have hey, Vince H is here. I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been, man? How have you been? It's called New Amsterdam, I know. But let's say you do want to sell Legos. Go to Bricklink. Look up your set and look up an item that resembles your item as best as possible. Because I put mine on Dutch Craigslist. Hey, RC, good to see you, Ryan. I put mine on Dutch Craigslist, and people were like, oh, I'll give you 75, I'll give you 90. Meanwhile, I got a Bricklink, complete, with box and instructions, minimum price, 150. It's like, eat a dick. That's the problem with collecting. There are a lot of people who think you're going to fall for something. Just watch out for that. All I'm saying, just watch out for that. Reminded me of what I told Wine More Please about certain cards. Like 2 years ago, you had like the COVID hype and cards just skyrocketed because people were bored and they wanted to get back into the hobby. Prices since then have tremendously dropped, but you still see some sellers on eBay asking for triple the worth, if not more, because they hope to catch a sucker who still thinks those cards are worth that much. Again, go to a niche website, look at something that resembles it as closely as possible, and go further from there. Go from there, kind of thing. And I'm already out of my rant, and it's only been 24 minutes. My God, I do this way too fast. I don't know how I did it last week. 2 hours. I went on a 2-hour tangent. What the hell did I talk about? Been good. The internet has been too cringe as of late. Been enjoying the real world. As you should, sir. As you should. As you should. Touch grass as much as possible. I've been trying to get out of the world more often, which I should. Because sometimes I do have the feeling that the Netherlands is kind of done. Whereas let's look for more opportunities elsewhere. What more does the world have to offer? Kind of thing. Eat grass. Hey, we aren't vegans here, sir. We are not vegetarians. Munch grass. Vegas. Vegas is indeed on the list. Vegas is indeed on the list. And there we go. Another mug of coffee. It is what you see a lot right now as well. We've seen the Daily Wire is attacking Red Pill. They're not even attacking Red Pill. They're mostly attacking Pearl. And what I mean by that is they're attacking somebody who regurgitates data and maxims and who doesn't know what the maxims really mean and then goes on vasectomies, even though Cappy did the whole vasectomy thing 10 years ago. Not gonna lie, look up at Claire's channel. You can find vasectomy videos 10 years ago on his channel. Why every man should get a vasectomy. There are 2 parts. He's in a lawn chair in his backyard. That was 10 years ago, and now we're all regurgitating it, and the trad cons are losing their mind. And Pearl keeps advocating for it. Meanwhile, Rolo a couple of weeks ago got raked over the coals and run up the flagpole, as he likes to say, for the whole vasectomy thing. It's like, what are we even worried about? What are we even worried about? Oh, but society is going to collapse. Sir, society will be collapsing anyway or another. Not me, nor you, or whoever is going to change that. The powers that be have already decided which way we're going. That way. Off the cliff. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be doomer pill. Absolutely not. I'm going to sit here and be like, enjoy the decline. Do whatever you like. Nihilism. Nothing matters. Nihilism. Nothing matters. It's like that. You could get a vasectomy. I'm not going to tell you if you should or shouldn't. I'm just telling you, you could. The technology is thus far in our society that it is available for every man to get one. You want to get married? You could. Marriage is available to everybody right now. Man, woman, and animal, apparently. Non-sentient being, even. You could get married. You could. I'm not telling you should or shouldn't. You could eat at McDonald's with your family. Not telling you you should or shouldn't. You should or shouldn't. We need less TradCon. We need ChanCon. Oh, Chan. We need more Zelda Chan. Hello, Glenn. I am the downfall of society. Well, you are the downfall of something. ChanCon. I like ChanCon more. Back to ChanCon. Weebs. We be weebing up in this bitch. What else is going? Oh, yeah, and same old TradCon arguments. It's like you need. My biggest problem with all of that is so very simple. Because I don't even disagree with them. I do not even disagree with them. I really don't. My biggest problem with them is that goddamn gospel. It's like, you should do X, Y, and Z. Sir, I should not do anything. I could do it. I could start a family. I could get married. And I could get that green card in Vegas. But you are no one to me to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. I am enough, indeed. That's my biggest gripe with everything. And that is the beauty of whole TRP. That was the beauty of Clary's books. That's what I loved about Clary's books, where it's like, hey, here's a different route. Here's minimalism. Here's bachelorhood. Here's a reconnaissance. Here's that. Here's the greatest meaning to life is other people. And he was right about that. Other people are the meaning of life. I look good in this angle, by the way. Just saying. I am not a narcissist. But that never-ending, finger-wagging should. It's like, no, I could do it. That was the only thing I didn't agree with what was his name? The lawyer. He was good. James. That was the only thing with James, where unfortunately I didn't get a point in because I didn't want to interrupt him, but he said, the red pill doesn't deal in could, we deal in reality. I'm like, well, you mean we don't deal in should. We're not telling you what to do, we're telling you how to do it. Kind of thing. Not telling you what to think, we're telling you how to think. Yeah, James Sexton. Quick guy, by the way. Jesus Christ. Remind me of a friend I had in high school. Could sell ice cream in hell. Not gonna lie. He was one of those. Marsha. Well, exactly. And then you have the doomers who are like way opposite from us as well. Where it's like would. Now you've got Rob who would say would all the time as well. But what I mean is those guys who read like red pill stuff, he could also sell fire in hell. You know what I mean. Ice would melt in hell. That's what I mean, where it's like it's useless. But then you got the doomers and the black pillars who read red pill things where it's like, hey, women are hypergamous, and the reason they cheat is because you weren't her hypergamous best option at the time, because you were behaving like a wimp. Or, on the other hand, you were giving her too much neuroticism, which drove her mad, which let her want more comfort. Yes, that happens for people who don't know. Some people have to tone down the alpha. Not gonna lie, it's not easy. Just saying. But you got the doomers over there who are like, oh, since women are hypergamous, they're going to cheat. It's like, by God. Oh my God. It's like, did you know women only date the top 20%? It's like, of what? Of what? Of the world? Like, does any woman in the world have direct access to every man in the world? Does she? Well, she has Instagram, so do you know how limited an average person's Instagram is? Co-workers, classmates, and maybe some guys and gals here and there they met when they hung out. You have to be like top 1% beauty to get an NFL player in your DMs. Maybe a bit less. You know, you just have to be a hot chick. But there are also plenty of hot chicks who don't have that. Know what I'm saying? Not to fluff Ryan too much, but his help has get my shit together. Sir, he hates fluffing, so all we do here is fluff. We give him compliments all the time. Have you heard him laugh? Every time that my man smiles, a puppy is born. That's how much we compliment him. He hates it, so I will continue doing it. That is the only strength I have in this sphere. Do what people hate. It's not true, by the way, but still. But you have those losers over there who are like, women, a primary reason for divorce is money, which I highly doubt. I think it's more men who make money the sole make money the standard in their marriage. Hey Chad, good to see you. But who make money like the standard in their marriage, where it's like, oh, this is who defines the leadership. My dad used to say this. Who pays? Oh wait, let me translate this from Dutch to English. So, who doesn't pay obeys, kind of thing. That was his motto. Who doesn't pay obeys. That was his kind of thing. Now, in modern marriages, usually a woman earns more. Now, a lot of guys have trouble with that because they want to be the provider, and they want to be the head of the household. All they have to do is just err on the side of bad boy, where it's like, hey, I earn enough money to do my shit. Wifey Poo earns enough money to do both our shit. I can just sit at home, be hot, be aloof, be a jackass, tease her all day long, be the fun guy, and the provider, she got taken care of. What was that thing Rolo always says? Like, women will cross fire and death to make sure they don't have to settle for a provider. So what are you going to be then? Well, that's easy. Just a homeless bum. Duh. Not financial advice. I'm not saying you should, but do I get the point across here? I'm being a bit I make fun about it, but it's kind of what it really is what I mean. Like, look, the whole provider thing, like, you don't have to bring home the bacon because bacon can be bought for $2. Make sense? So what are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Well, hypergamy is two sides of the same coin, blah, 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 blah. Not to be disrespectful to our man, Lord and Savior, Rollo Tomasi, God blessed be his name. But he said it more times than I can count, and my audience probably knows him, so you know what I'm saying. What tradcons keep doing is that whole nonsense of, well, you have to be the provider, and you have to be this. It's like, yeah, sure, but can't she work? She wants her shit. She can work for it. They wanted it. We want our independence. Hey, Banter. Come on, my man podcast is here. Come on, my pot man cast. Come on, my cast pot man. But if they want something, they can go out and get it. Women can earn now. But what about the children? Please think of the children. In all honesty, that will be the one and only argument where I concede. I secede. I yield. Do I believe that when you have kids, the woman should stay home? It is one of my convictions, yes. I'm not saying she should, I'm saying she could, and I'm saying if it were up to me, in my situation, I would prefer that would be the case for mostly mental reasons of the child's safety. Go look this up. Dumping a child in daycare, in my humble opinion, is child abuse. I will die on that hill. A lot of people don't like it when I say that, but look up the stress levels of children who get dumped before the age of 4 at daycare. You will be shocked. Shocked, I tell you. So because of that sole reason, I am of the belief that if I were to have children, if daycare is just not an option. It just isn't. It just is not in my sight. You know, it's not in my periphery. I don't know. My English is failing. I am English second language, sir. But that's where I do have to, like, side with the tradcons a bit, where it's like, yeah, as a guy, you could be the one who, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Oh God. Is there a different way of phrasing this? Please. As the guy, you could be the one who says, you know what, I will take the responsibility. Take it upon you to be the earner of the household, to be like, you know what, we'll take care of the kid, I'll take care of you, I'll take care of me. Which, in humble opinion, and Clary will say this as well, and I hope Clary can make it on Saturday, on Friday, because Rob can't make it. A single earner household can raise a kid. Can raise a kid. A lot of people make it more expensive than it ought to be. It's not your toy, it's just your turn. Well, women are objects, so. Hi-oh. I'll be here all day. But in that sense, it's like, what are you going to do then? Well, because of all the healthy benefits, I would conclude in that case, yes, woman stays home, man goes to work. Isn't that very traditional, you red pillars? Yeah. But us red pillars look at the situation how it is and ask themselves, how can I get the best out of this situation for me? For me, in that case, it would be that the child grows up as best it can. To my knowledge, that is with the mom. Breastfeeding and all that, blah, 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 blah. You'd be surprised at what age you can still breastfeed a child, by the way. That is maybe something for a different day, but go look that up. It's like, really? I was surprised by that. Like, huh. Okay. Didn't know that. Meanwhile, I'll meet people in the outside world who will go like, oh, I just had my child 3 weeks ago. I can't wait to go back to work. Breastfeeding is so hard. I'll just go to formula. The kid is 3 weeks old. And already these women are like, I want to go back to work, to my office. Yeah, lady, because the baby you've got there isn't a goddamn part-time job, is it? It's like, no, of course not. I want to go back to Excel sheets. So, some people are so brainwashed. I really don't understand. But yeah, I've heard that. But with that comes the whole narrative, the societal narrative of like, oh, breastfeeding should stop after like 6 months. It's like, yeah, stop with the natural process of feeding your child within a year of it being born. Jack, how do you know all this? Because there was a time, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, where I, Mr. Jack Napier, actually wanted to be a dad. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know where the world is going, and I don't know if I'm suited to be a parent. But I did my research, where it's like, okay, I don't trust anything the government says anyway. And now they're telling me they want to subsidize daycare. How good is daycare for a child, really? Turns out, ain't that good. Surprise. Wow, you mean to tell me a government-funded program is not for the sheer benefit of the ones enrolled in that program? By God, I tell you, shocked and appalled. Well, my dear lord, that is not the only thing they have hidden from you. Have you heard about September the... Sorry. Promise I won't go there. Promise. But seriously, though, look up the moon landing. I don't know. We had a whole thing just in Dutch Parliament where we had one guy who is kind of like he errs on the other right. He errs on the strange side of the right. And he said in Parliament, there was, what was it? I'm paraphrasing here, but he said during a national debate, he came on, he's like, September 11 was an inside job and the moon landing never happened. It's like, okay. And that was like the end of his speech. It's like, okay. Moving on. But now what happened is that the right in the Netherlands, which we already don't really have, in all honesty, is now even more splintered because certain parts of the right look at that guy and go like, look, we don't care, but we're not dealing with that. We want to have the Netherlands back on top. We don't care about the moon landing. And in all honesty, I can't blame him. I really can't blame him. Like, I go back to Rob on this one where it's like, what's in it for you? And probably not a whole lot. Yet you have a politician here who keeps screaming and yelling about, oh, this happened and that happened. And it's like, yeah, but what about our economics, you know? What about that? Well, I don't know. They've lied to us. Well, yeah, we already knew that. Now what? Even if it's true. It's like, now what? How are you like gonna make our inflation go away? How are you gonna like increase the value of the euro? How are you going to increase our knowledge economy? And what I mean by that is the Netherlands was known for their high percentage in graduates of college and university. And that's been going down, I believe, and they decreased the what is it I'm looking for? What word am I looking for? What's that word I'm looking for? So in the army, you need to do 21 pull-ups, 50 push-ups, and 100 crunches. That is called the toegangseisen. I hate it when this happens. I can't find the word. I really can't find the word. The demands. So let's say the demands for the army. So there were certain demands for college and university. You needed to have the PT standards. Thank you. The standards. So they lowered the standards. So let's say you needed to have graduated high school with cum laude for the university. They lowered that to like for you Americans to B's, so to say. So let's say, yeah, qualification requirements. Thank you. That was the big one I was looking for. So the requirements were all A's for university on a certain level in high school, and I talked about that before. They lowered that to B's, and for college, that went down to C's even. And what you see now and what you see everywhere, and even Cappy talked about that, and even I see it, and especially airports. This is why I travel with hand luggage, by the way, just saying, might be a hint, could be travel advice, I'm not sure, but the quality of service is going down. The quality of absolute service is going down. Orders you make are wrong. Products in the supermarkets are gone. Everything takes longer. We have our postal service. Jesus, by God. Every now and then, PostNL, which is PostNL, the postal service of the Netherlands, every now and then it's trending. Every now and then it's trending on Twitter, and I look, and what these delivery people do, it's by God. They just throw packages over the hedge. They drop it at the door. They put it in an open mailbox right there to be picked up by anybody. I told you guys the story about my ship, right? Did I tell you the story about my ship? I don't even know if I told you guys. I think I did a couple of times, but I'm not sure. You want me to tell the story? Hit a 1 in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you want to hit this story. And after that, we'll be probably wrapping up unless I get super chats, because I am a whore. But in all seriousness, at a certain point, I'm rambling and I don't know what to talk about anymore. And I just ramble for ramble's sake. And that would be a detriment to the qualification of this show. Oh, Glenn Lawrence with the 1,111,111. It's more than that. It's more like 1 billion. Peter F., good to see you again, Peter. Had a long time no see. Okay. That's plenty of ones. That's another one. It's 4. That is a fourth of this audience. 25% wants to hear the ship story. It's actually pretty fun. So, okay. Unfortunately, I can't grab it for you because it is covered in other collectibles. But okay. Is this the one? That's the one. This tattoo. This tattoo is from my first ever Lego set. This is the emblem of the Imperials of 1992. They had a flagship. That flagship was what my dad bought me for my, I believe, 3rd or 4th birthday. That's why I have it. I believe it was a year ago. Yeah, it was 1 year ago when I was in... Oh my God, that's only been a year. Wow, things happen so fast in a year. Huh. Wow. If you would have told me last year what would happen this year, I would have told you were a fool, an idiot. Yeah, here we are. But okay, back to the ship. I wanted to have a moment with my dad where I would find the first ever gift he got me that I remember, the first ever Lego set he got me, in box so we could build it together. It's a heartfelt moment with your dad, with the old man. Yeah, I know. The old man does well. He does his best. And I found it online. Now, I will not tell you the price because it was enough. It was sufficient, but it was worth it. I order it from some guy in France. He gives me a good price on it, lower than what he wanted to sell it for. And I ordered it. Like, good. I got the track and trace, and I look at the track and trace, and if all went well, it would arrive here the day before I left for Philly. The day to Philly arrives. Nothing. I'm like, oh no. Luckily, PostNL drops off parcels at their postal points, like at postal offices, like pickup points. 9 times out of 10, they do that. Why do you say 9 times out of 10? I'm getting there. So I check in, I get the luggage check, and I sit down. And all of a sudden, I get an email from the postal service saying, your parcel has been delivered. Mind you, this parcel required a signature. I was in an airplane. I didn't know about them, but I didn't remember 5 minutes ago signing something in my front door before I stepped into that plane, which is in Amsterdam, which is 3 hours away from here. I'm like, you delivered it? At my house? Huh? So I'm like, you know what? Maybe, probably, which was weird because I didn't tell the old man. Like, maybe the old man is there for some odd reason. Maybe he accepted it. Maybe the neighbors did. It's like, huh? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, strange. Strange, unrealized thoughts. Are you on your phone? Maybe it's working from this end. It doesn't matter. So I call the old man I'm like, Dad? He's like, son, are you by any chance at my place? He's like, what am I supposed to do there? I'm like, could you do me a favor? And he's like, what do you need me to do? I'm like, look, I ordered something. This is the price, blah, 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 blah. And they told me they delivered it. The problem is they required a signature and I'm not there. He's like, oh. He's like, sure, I'll drive by. I'll see what I can do. Maybe they put it in front of the door. I'm like, that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. I call the postal services. I'm like, hi, how you doing? Guy on the other end, I'm good, sir. I'm fine. How about you? I'm like, not so well. It's like, oh. I'm like, oh, indeed. I was being such a bitch. I'm like, oh, God. I am on a plane, on its way, far from home. And you mean to tell me that one of your Jeep goddamn drivers either still has it or dropped it somewhere where we can't find it? So I explained to him the situation very carefully, very soothingly. I remained calm and stoic like a pure alpha male should. True to my nature of calmness, carelessness, and I've got this shitness. And I asked him, can you get in contact with the driver? By any means. Can you tell me where it is? It's like, no, sir, but let me see what I can do. He puts me on hold for, I don't know how long. How long does it take for a plane to fill up? Because, like, as I called as soon as I sat down. I was like, oh, fuck. And the lights for the seatbelts went on, and I probably was supposed to hang up. The guy comes back. He's like, sir, right now, there's not much I can do for you, but the thing we can do is if you want, that was it. The thing we can do is if you want, we can file a complaint. And I remember this so well, like out of like in a burst of rage, all of a sudden, yes, I want to file a complaint. Like through the whole airplane. And like the whole airplane fell silent. I'm like, I look around on my phone, like, sorry. Yes, I want to file a complaint. He's like, sir, I understand. It's like, are these like, is this your data? I'm like, yes, that's my data. By the way, kid, you can't help it. I know you're probably in an office in a cubicle somewhere, but thanks for helping me out on this. He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So we filed the complaint. The plane was flying. I had no idea where this box was. I ordered it, spent a shitload of cash, and I was on my way. Had no cell phone service, nothing, for I don't know how many hours. I was tense. I was pissed beyond belief. I landed in Dublin because for some odd reason that took a long time. I don't know why. Took 2 to 3 hours. Again, God tell me why. I land. I finally get service. The old man texts me a photo of a brown parcel in the middle of the alleyway, not even right in front of the door. He's like, is this what you were looking for? I'm like, please take that inside as soon as you can. He's like, I already put it in. What is it? I'm like, you'll see when I get back in a week. Now, luckily, the parcel was found. It was where it was supposed to be. But that just tells you the sheer incompetency of some people. Protocol was, if people aren't home, you put that at a pickup point where the clerks there keep it in safekeeping, and the only person who can pick it up is the one who it is addressed to. It is that easy. This guy just threw it there, threw it in the alley, and drove off. Now, fortunately, I can still to this day look at that box. It's like, I can look at it. I know it's the real thing. I can look at it today, more than a year ago. But I had almost lost it thanks to incompetence of an employee. Now, that is what frustrates me, and I think that is what frustrates Cappy so much when he walks into Walmart and people just don't have their stuff together. Because why don't they? I don't know. Are they lazy? Are they incompetent? Do they want to ruin your day? I don't know. But that was my experience with an incompetent employee. Now, normally, if I would have been here, I wouldn't have minded. But I was on the middle of a plane. Now, I might be flying again soon, sooner than I thought. Not saying anything. But I will make damn sure that I will have nothing in my agenda on that day where it's like, nope, I'm not ordering anything a week beforehand. I'm not making plans a week beforehand. We are just getting on that plane and everything would have been done. Everything would have been taken care of and we have nothing to wait for. We have nothing to take care of. Everything is finished. Finito alla fanato, as my mother used to say. Was she Italian? No. I thought the states were bad. Enjoy the decline. What are we voting on? If you wanted to hear the story. You were on your phone. Apparently, you can't send super chats on your phone, but that's okay on Realized Thoughts. How did you like Roll Zero this past weekend? It was interesting. I like James. James was a very quick and witty guy, very informative, very realistic. And he has a very edgy side to him, which, I mean, if you know me, I can appreciate that in any type of person, especially when they're a lawyer. Like, there's a couple of people you want to have humor, your psychiatrist and your lawyer. Like, they can tell you the most damning thing in the world, but if they can send it, if they can tell you with an edgy side of humor, you will be fine. I once had a social worker years ago, and he had very sarcastic, dark humor. I loved him. I just loved him. Yeah, you are kind of a moron, aren't you? He just told me flat out. A depressed 16-year-old Napier in front of him. He looks at me. Yeah, you are kind of a moron, aren't you? Oh, I love that man. Till this day. Every now and then I see him. Oh. Oh, good times. Good times. Peter F., great to catch you live. Please take a like from a simple man. Take it. Appreciate it. Numbreaker Ninja 1. The don't give a fuck attitude goes so far until all society does it. Well, it depends on how you look at that. It depends on how you look at that. Because the I don't give a damn attitude might work in everybody's favor. If everybody is out for themselves, funnily enough, everybody gets productive. Because there's this weird mutual understanding where it's like, oh, of course he's out for himself. I'm out for myself. But he has something I want. And of course he wants something he wants in return for that. Let me try and make that happen. And then all of a sudden you have a trading society going on because you understand each other. And then you might even make beer buddies right there where it's like, hey, you're an asshole too. I am as well. Nice. Let's be an asshole together. Cool. Want to park your car in a handicapped space? Fuck yeah. I would love to be the person like that. Like, hey. Want to walk around in the summertime saying, how about this heat?
anybody gets that reference. If anybody gets that. I wonder if you will get that. Basically, the trads want to shame women into stay into a relationship. Look, you can't shame people into a relationship. Okay, sorry. How do I phrase this? People in a relationship, if you need to make it work, like it's a need, you're farther away from home as when you want to make it work. Do you want to make it work? Do you want the person you are in love with to be with you? Do you want to be with them? Kind of thing. Do you? And this is from the female perspective. And I have gone on record saying this. My favorite point to be in a relationship, and I will say this hands down on record, my favorite place to be in a relationship is when I'm annoyed by how much attention I get. That's where I like being. That I'm annoyed by how much attention I'm getting. Perfect place to be. There's no doubt. There's no questioning. There's no nothing. Like, of course she likes me. I'm getting attention up the wazoo. And I have no alone time here. It's like, that's the perfect place. But if you're in a relationship where you're like, wait, do you even want to be here? That's for the person, that's not a good place to be. Mentally, not. And that's why I'm not a big fan of couples counseling or couples therapy, where it's like, it's negotiation. And that's where not even dread, that's where self-respect, that's where self-interest comes from. You cannot force behaviors out of someone. You can't. You can't force that out of someone. You might want to do that, but it will never be genuine. I'm not even talking about genuine desire, even though it could be categorized as that. But it's that genuine want to be with someone. I had this conversation with a friend, like everything is transactional. I'm like, but where's the want in that? That's the biggest factor of transaction I can live with. Because if you're very cynical, of course, it comes down to everything is transactional. And it's like, yeah. But then there's the mutual want of being in the transaction. I want to do this for you because I want to do it. You add value to my life. You make me happy. I want to make you happy in return. I love spending time with you because you bring me joy. And that is in every relationship. Man, woman, 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 man, man, friends, whatever. Which unfortunately is lost on this generation because as soon as they see two men, it's like, oh, they must be gay. No, there is a deeper form of male friendship that goes way beyond anything a woman would ever understand. It is as close as a man could love another man without being gay, kind of thing. And we're all guys here in the chat. You probably have a friend somewhere like that. You love him as much as a heterosexual man can love another heterosexual man. Not saying being gay is wrong or whatever, but I use it to describe this phenomenon. Is that transactional? Yes. For the joy and value you get from the other person, and the other person gets from you, because the other person can decline, of course. But let's say you're in a marriage and one of the two doesn't even want to be there. And I talked to a friend of mine whose name I shall not mention about this.
acta non verba, speak without speaking, is tremendously hard. Look, we can't sit here as guys and be stone cold about it, where it's like, oh, a real alpha male, blah, blah, blah. Look, if you are invested in a girl and you're not getting the attention you want or would like to, and you think to yourself, look, she's just not as interested, and you retract your attention, not as a covert contract, but more as a, look, it's not being reciprocated. Why should I? Why could I do this when it's not reciprocated? No matter how invested you are, because of that self-respect, you retract, because definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. You notice that putting in attention isn't doing anything. So you kind of give up, and you're like, well, you'll know where to find me. And unfortunately, women respond to that. It's like, you want what you can't have. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. Because there's always that imminent dread of your fear being confirmed. Know what I'm saying? And we've all been there, where you retract your attention, but what if? What if? What if she doesn't value you? What are you going to do then, Mr. Peak Alpha Male? Oh, I'm just going to find another one. Yeah, okay, sure. In the long run, you will, and don't worry about that. I'm not going to sit here and be all like one-itis. But it doesn't mean it doesn't sting. That doesn't mean that train of thought doesn't go through your head. It doesn't mean that when you notice certain behaviors changing, pattern recognition, when that alters, alarm bells go off. It doesn't mean that when those bells go off, you don't mind. Yeah, you do. Because like many men before you, you are invested in someone. And then the tradcons come, and you should just stay in that relationship. You should stay in a relationship where you're worried the other person even likes you for whatever reason. Where you have tried to get their attention. Where you have done everything from A to B to C to dread. Like you've done affection. You've been beta enough. You've shown comfort. You've applied dread. Did I actually do that? Nice. The ABCD of the ABCs of relationship with Jack Napier. Then the other person has already made the choice. No matter how much that stings, the other person has made the choice for you. And then comes the choice as a guy with self-respect to say, I'm done. I've tried it. You get first crack at my libido, but not sole custody. Another one of those maxims that probably will be misinterpreted. Jack, what does it mean? She gets first crack at your libido, but not sole custody. A lot of guys are in the scarcity mindset of their wife being their only access to sex. But with the mindset of she gets first crack at my libido, not sole custody, it gives them a better headspace to act in. They're not butthurt. They're not dependent. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it is your wife. It is the person you made the choice with to stick it out with. You're probably going to be butthurt in the beginning. You probably are. Like, there's a shit ton of Married Red Pill where the answer is don't be butthurt. And it's like guys are like, but how do I do that? Because I am butthurt. Of course you are. Like, the woman you love rejects you. How do you deal with that? Well, that's a whole process of like becoming your own mental point of origin, being able to like rub it off and blah, blah, blah. And living with somebody who you think doesn't like you. That's cold. That's hard for a guy. It's like, damn. And then the trad Colin comes in and he's like, you should. No. Like, there is a rock, an immovable object here that I cannot move no matter what I do. The love has died. Oh, but you can reignite the spark. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you just can't. And then you get to like the stuff in Married Red Pill where it's like, do you actually like your wife? Do you like her? Because like the main thing of Married Red Pill is we made the choice to stick. We made the choice to stay because we want to. Not because we should, but because we could. And we decided to. Not because the Lord said it, not because Ben Shapiro said it, not because Matt Walsh has 6 kids, but because that person wanted it. And he wanted to see it out. And some guys fix their marriage, and some guys look at their wife and be like, why am I even here? Why am I even here? Those are the rougher stories. I'm not gonna lie. But when I see D-wire finger wagging and all that, I go kind of like, look. Yeah, I don't know. It all seems like negotiation to me. It's not a good thing. Which to me sounds not a good thing. My humble opinion is indeed not a good thing. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss? For the Tradcon's genuine desire, it's anathema. Damn. Just don't process it. Nope. A European basically describing Ayn Rand's objectivism. I've never read Ayn Rand. I know, right? Horrible. Why have you never read that? I don't know. It just never came up. Just never got to it. Let's see. But I think that's it for today. Yeah, that's it for today. If you need help with fitness, help me help you. Go check out the Personal Accountability Program. We got a consultation coming up this Saturday, 12 p.m. CET Amsterdam. My narrations, 50 Shades of Game, all 3 books in one bundle, written by Troy Francis, narrated by me. Approach Like Chad, Text Game Mastery. 2 books in one bundle, also written by Troy Francis, narrated by me, and of course, Carl from Black Label Logic, Gendernomics, the audiobook bundle. You can get those there. If you want to support the channel, you can click the join button there, somewhere there. Get access to the membership area. Get my version of the book for free. And tomorrow I'm going to do a membership stream where I will put the StreamYard link in the chat and you can come and hang out with me and the other members if you're interested in that. Again, click the join button and get access to that. That's it for me. Hit the like, comment, subscribe, share this with anyone who you think needs to hear this message. And I will see you on Thursday. Let's do Thursday. See you then. Cheers.